For this question, we want to use the properties of logarithms to rewrite the given expression as a single logarithm. Whenever possible, evaluate the logarithmic expressions. So in this example, we have log base 9 of x plus 1 minus log base 9 of x plus 7 minus log base 9 of square root of 3x. So in this example, we want to condense into a single logarithm, and we have a few properties that we're able to use to do this. We have the product rule, and the quotient rule, and the power rule. Now we're trying to condense to a single logarithm, so we're starting with multiple logarithms, and we're trying to condense to a single logarithm. So we're going to read it starting with the right-hand side and try to simplify to become the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you can see that we have the sum of two logs. And when you have the sum of two logs, you can condense with multiplication. Our problem has subtraction in it, so we're not going to use that property. We're going to use the quotient rule, which has subtraction. And when you have subtraction of logs, you can condense into a single log using division. And we notice that this first log, the first term is positive, and inside the log is what goes in the numerator. And the second term is negative, and what's inside the log goes into the denominator. So we're going to be using this property here to condense. The last property is the power rule, and we use that whenever we have a coefficient on the log, and that coefficient will become the power on the inside of the log. We look at our example, and none of our logs have a coefficient, so we don't need to use that property. So it looks like we're only going to be using the quotient rule for logarithms. So let's rewrite the example so we can have it a little bit larger. We have the log base 9 of x plus 1 minus log base 9 of x plus 7 minus log base 9 of square root of 3x. Now it's important to notice that all of these have the same base, and that is required in all of our properties to have the same base so that we can condense to a single log. So I'm going to condense this to a log base 9, and this term, this log term, has a sign that is positive in front of it. No sign is written, so we assume it to be positive. And so when I condense, that x plus 1 will go into the numerator. When I look at the next term has a negative in front of it, and that factor will go into the denominator, x plus 7. And then we have our last term here, which is also negative, and that term will go into the denominator, square root of 3x. So I've written that a little bit bunched up. Let me try to write it nicer for you guys. It's log base 9 of x plus 1 over square root of 3x times x plus 7. And I'm looking at this to see if I can do any simplification, and I don't see any obvious simplifications, so I would stop here. You could also write this as log base 9 of x plus 1 over x plus 7 square root of 3x. That would be acceptable as well. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.